I will never be selling all of my Jasmy. Now, some people may think I'm insane for saying this, but here's the thing. I'm not saying I'm never going to be selling like at all, right? Of course, I'm going to be selling. However, I'm never going to be selling completely because even though nothing I say is financial advice nor a guarantee, we've seen time and time again. Like for instance, right? We saw Cardano's native token called ADA back then hovering around 3 cents in price. Then in 2021, absolutely skyrocketed. Then of course, the bear market followed. ADA did crash, right? It went down, but then it never went down to the price of around 3 cents ever again. And I don't think it's ever going to reach that in history again, in my opinion. Now, you take a look at Bitcoin, right? Bitcoin at one point was at the price of $1. Is it ever going to reach even like the price of $1,000 ever again? No, I don't think so. We've seen this time and time again with amazing projects and even bad projects as well. So when I take a look at it, even though, let's say, Jasmy were to go to the price of $1 during this bull run, which hypothetically I believe it could do that, I think that, soon, let's say after, people start cashing out or whatever, and let's say there's a bear market, Jasmy is eventually going to go down. It's eventually going to go down hard. We've seen this time and time again. Now, this is just speculative, but we've seen this historically speaking. Now, still even despite that, do I ever think that Jasmy could, let's say, go below the price of like 10 cents or maybe even, let's say, like reach the price of 5 cents ever again? I don't think so. As of right now, Jasmy is hovering around 2 cents in price. So I don't think it's ever going to reach like this low ever again. And maybe not even like 10 cents ever again. We just don't know, right? If let's say we're to go to the price of $1. So that right there is why I'm never going to be selling completely, because I believe that Jasmy, first of all, is never going to be this low ever again, hypothetically, after this bull run is over. Not to mention, I do think that it has an amazing long-term future because it's not a project that's reliant on fans or like hype in order to survive. No, it's not some sort of random caca nonsense. You got to think about this, right? When it comes to Jasmy, focused on decentralizing data storage, that right there is a market that has tremendous longevity, and it's not some random caca nonsense. Not to mention, people often like to say that, oh yeah, Jasmy, man, they don't advertise enough. They don't have this great exposure. Well, they're not a meme coin. You know what I mean? They're not going to be updating like every 2 minutes or something crazy like that. A lot of other projects out there, instead of spending millions towards development, they want to spend millions towards advertising with athletes and random nonsense like that. But Jasmy, again, it's not like that. It's different. It's a very fantastic project. It's focused on an amazing market. And if you think about it, trying to decentralize data storage, it's not something that's like new, so to speak. We see many other projects out there do this, like Filecoin, JasmyCoin, Storage, Arweave. We've seen this, right? So when you think about it, is it like something that's completely caca? No. I mean, there's other projects focused on that, but it doesn't necessarily mean it's a bad thing because Jasmy, in my opinion, arguably speaking, is the most reputable. Now I get it, Filecoin, a lot of people would argue that it's a lot better, all this type of stuff. But in my opinion, I think in terms of like brand recognition, in terms of like the average individual, I think a lot more people know Jasmy compared to them. Or should I say when compared to the other competitors? You got to think about this, right? JasmyCoin, I'm very bullish on that. Storage, I take a look at Arweave. But what is lacking when it comes to them? In my opinion, the community isn't that dynamic, right? It's not that passionate. But when it comes to Jasmy, it's very passionate because you take a look at, again, it's just a very different breed, I would say, when compared to the others. They're just on a whole different level of passion, in my opinion. It doesn't necessarily mean that it's bad. I think it's good, actually. The passionate community of Jasmy feels like a meme coin, in my opinion. Not that it's a bad thing, but I think that's actually a compliment if you really think about it, because usually meme coins, the good ones, have a very strong community. And I like that about Jasmy. Arweave, Storage, JasmyCoin, their community is like going to like, I don't know, like an opera concert. No one's going to be cheering and saying, yeah, come on, sing that, chorus again or whatever they sing, right? Oh, sing that, tone again. Like, I don't know what they're going to say, man. Jasmy is like a rock concert. You know what I mean? It's like a rave. It's a little bit a different vibe. You know what I mean? Filecoin, I agree that it's very massive. However, in my opinion, the community, again, even though it is very massive, I would say, but still, it doesn't feel that passionate when compared to Jasmy. So I really like that. When you take a look at it, some people like to say that, oh yeah, whoever is going to have the most mass scale institutional adoption in the next 6 months to a year is going to win this bull run in terms of like gains, all this type of stuff when compared to, or should I say when evaluating the decentralized data storage projects. But I disagree because even though in the very long term, I think it could matter, in the next 6 months to a year, people just don't care. You got to think about this, right? Does Luna Classic have a future? No. People pumped it for fun. Litecoin, I think, is Kaka. People pumped that for fun. Klima DAO even found a bottom. So when it comes to Jasmy, it doesn't need like mass scale institutional adoption in the next like 6 months in order to do well. No. I think that given the strong community, given the sentiment, let's say Bitcoin does reach greater heights, which all factors are indicating that it could very well exceed, $100,000 very, very soon. We just don't know, right? 150,000, I think, could very well be a reality. And maybe, who knows, way higher, 200K, maybe, who knows, right? Again, during this bull run, only time will tell. But with all those amazing factors, and when you combine that with Jasmy having great exposure, I don't think that it's going to do bad during this bull run. Keep in mind, at the price of $1, considering current circulating supply, market cap would be around $50 billion. It's not too crazy. We've seen BNB reach over 100 billion. We've seen Dogecoin reach over 80 billion. Now, I'm not saying that Jasmy has the fans that they have. I'm not saying that, because in terms of community, again, even though Jasmy is very impressive for the data storage market, or let's say projects that are focused on that, right? It is really nothing compared to them. And I get it. They completely blow and embarrass Jasmy out of the water when it comes to that. I understand that. But I think that, if anything, showcases how reaching over $50 billion in market cap, or in this case around 50, doesn't seem too crazy, right? We've even seen a meme coin called Dogecoin reach this by over 30 billion. And this was back in 2021, keep in mind. At a time where things didn't look as bullish as they are right now. As of right now, over 600 million crypto owners, pretty much double, even when compared to the peak of that bull run that year again in 2021. You take a look at the Bitcoin ETF, the Ethereum ETF, the number of institutional investors. I think this bull run could be amazing. Now, only time will tell, but even if you take a look at me talking about Jasmy, like even back in early 2023, right? I remember the first video I made about Jasmy, I had like a fever and like I didn't feel good at all. I was like, oh man. But yeah, besides that point, when I take a look at Jasmy, I've been believing in Jasmy for quite a while now. And ever since I made that video, Jasmy has actually been doing very well. And I'm actually not even sitting at a loss when it comes to Jasmy at all. I'm doing actually pretty good. Now, I get it. There's a pullback when it comes to Jasmy, whatever. But then still, I think Jasmy, relatively speaking, is still doing very well. And I still do believe that better days are ahead when it comes to Jasmy, because, again, reaching the price of $1 during this bull run wouldn't surprise me. Now, I get it. That right there is around a 50x from here. Some people may think that it's trash because, it's on a 1000x or whatever like that. But here's the thing. The way I view it is that, I'm not looking for a random micro cap, That's a little bit too much risk for me. But I'm not looking for a dinosaur either. I'm not looking for like a Bitcoin or like a BNB or like a Solana or like an Ethereum. So what is a good medium in between? I would say it's something like Jasmy. Market cap is not too massive, but it's not too small either. So it does perfectly fit this bill. Of course, there's always going to be risk, in my opinion, with anything, but at least the risk doesn't feel as bad as like a random microcap. Let's say this microcap is called like Bratwurst Extender Inu. Like, who knows, right? I mean, I'm just making this up. Maybe the market cap is like $5,000 and it can do like a 500x or like 1,000x. I don't know, maybe. But then I'm not going to risk myself with something like that. That's a little bit too much for my appetite. But I don't want to deal with like a BNB. For instance, right? It's a complete caca. So again, I'd rather believe in Jasmy. I just got to stay patient. And again, Jasmy at the price of $1 during this bull run wouldn't surprise me whatsoever. And that's why I'm never selling completely when it comes to Jasmy. At least that's just my point of view. No one has to follow, but that's not financial advice. But I think Jasmy is that amazing. And I believe that much in its future. And make sure to subscribe if you gain value from this video. I greatly appreciate it. It's Molly the Captain. And I'll catch y'all on the next one. I'm out. Peace. Bye.